Chazak u'baruch, boker tov, boker p'rinetz minyan. Rabotai, now we are starting to pray for rain. V'ten talum atali bracha. So therefore, if a person forgot to pray for rain and he didn't say it, what should he do? If he already passed this bracha of Barech Aleinu, he passed there and he started already tikach b'shofar, what should he do? He should say in Shomea Tefillah, as we said yesterday. We should say in Shomea Tefillah. What does that mean? He said, Ki ata Shomea Tefillat kopeh, v'ten talum atali bracha. He says over there. And after that, he continues Baruch Atah Hashem Shomea Tefillah. He continues and finishes the Tefillah. This is what he does if he missed it over there. The truth is, that this prayer that we have, Barech Aleinu, it's a little bit strange. Why is it strange? Because it's not the same nusach that we have all year, Barechenu, right? We have a different nusach. The Ashkenazim, they just add V'ten talum atali bracha. They don't have a different nusach like we have altogether. So where does nusach come from, by the way? That we have the different nusach altogether, right? This is a very lengthy bracha. Where does that come from? So the truth is that they say it came from the Arizal. The Arizal made this bracha. He made a special bracha for the winter that, according to his chokhmah, and the Sephardim, they adopted it into their siddur. The Ashkenazim don't have it, because they don't put new things into the siddur. We have a little bit more modern, maybe a little bit, right? I don't want to use the word modern, but we like to accept new things, sometimes we accept. So therefore, we accepted it. The Arizal made this nusach. This is the reason why we added it. But the truth is, if a person didn't say this whole nusach, he just says V'ten talum atali bracha, that's enough. Dayenu, right? This is not b'diavad. We don't need this b'diavad, this nusach. It's just something which was put in by the Arizal, as we said. So this is the way it's done. If he passed it already, Shomea Tefillah, and he didn't say V'ten talum atali bracha, he forgot. What should he do now? So now, right, depends on what happened. If he already stepped back, Oseh Shalom Imamav, he already stepped back, he has to go and pray again the whole thing, right? He didn't ask for rain, so he has to pray the whole Amidah again. That's the way it is, right? But if he didn't step back yet, what should he do? He can still go back to Barech Aleinu over there, the 10 talum atali bracha, and from there continue and finish the whole Amidah. So it depends on the situation, right? That's the way it works. So try to be careful, by the way. I mentioned also yesterday another thing, which is that if there's a safek, right? What about if there's a doubt? You're not sure if you said it. Oh, I don't remember. What happened? Did I say it or not? So what's the halakha, Be'emet? The halakha is the Chazal tell you that the first 30 days after the prayer was already started, the assumption is, the chazakah is that you didn't say it if you forgot, if you don't remember. Chazakah is you didn't say it. Why? That's your regilut. This is the way you're ragil, So therefore, since you're ragil this way, and usually you don't say it for the last 6 months, you haven't said it, so therefore the rule is that you probably didn't say it. So therefore the Chazal said, treat it like you didn't say it and go back and do it again, like we said, right? Like we said the halachot. This is the way it's got to be done. If it's a safek, you got to go back. That only applies for 30 days, right? Once the 30 days has already passed, so then we say, you know what, you're already ragil. You're already regular to do it already. And therefore, now if you have a safek, you don't go back anymore. Because we assume that you already said it. So what's the solution? We already mentioned yesterday, right, that Maran used to do like this, according to the Shulchan Aruch, according to the Talmud. It says over there that if a person said 90 times before, right, he started to do this tefillah, he said, Barech Aleinu, V'ten talum atali bracha, 90 times. He has to say it, right? One after the other. Boom, 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 boom. V'ten talum atali bracha, V'ten talum atali bracha, Barech Aleinu, Barech Aleinu, Barech Aleinu, 90 times. If he does that, then if he has a safek, he doesn't have to go back anymore. What's the reason why? Because now he's ragil already. He said 90 times. Why 90? Well, what's the reason for 90? Because we say 3 prayers every day, right? So therefore, 30 times 3 is 90. So 30 days equals 90 prayers. So if you said 90 times, right, this already makes you like a 30-day guy. You already went 30 days, as if, So therefore, that's the rule. So I remember, Rabbi Yosef told us, the chief rabbi, he told us that when Maran used to be alive, he's still alive. The Sikkim are always alive. They're even more alive when in their death. They're more influential. But the truth is, that he used to tell the sons, okay, before they start to do the rain prayer, he would tell them, okay, let's do 90 times, right? Barech Aleinu, V'ten talum atali bracha, 90 times. So this way, if you have a safek, if you have a doubt, you don't have to go back if you did 90 times. This is the rule, So it's a good thing to do. Not everybody does this, but, whatever you can do, you do. Another thing, which the rabbi asked yesterday, I think somebody asked this question over here, right, regarding onion and garlic, which was left over overnight, So the truth is that it says in the Talmud that if a person eats this kind of thing, it's sakana. It's like you could die from that, right? So it's a very dangerous thing. So what's the solution for that, right? There's all kinds of solutions that brought down the poskim. Mix it with some other thing, put it into a salad, mix it with something. If you mix it with something, then you can leave it overnight. Or if you leave the klipa on, if you leave the shell on, also, you can leave it overnight. That's another solution. But the truth is that something funny, right? I don't know if you want to laugh. I don't know. It's not really that funny, but the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch don't bring this halakha in the Chiburim. What's the reason why?
Rambam says don't eat garlic and onion.
I'm sorry?
Rambam says not to eat garlic and onion.
Yeah, that's for health reasons. We're talking about halakha, right? That's something else. That's the doctor side of the Rambam. Doctor side. We have the rabbi side, the doctor side. So that's the doctor side. But what about the rabbi side, right? So the Rambam doesn't bring this halakha bichlal. You know what I mean? About leaving garlic and onions over, and also the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring it. So the poskim say the reason why they don't bring it is because they hold that it doesn't exist today. It doesn't apply today. Why? Because there's certain types of ruach hara that don't apply today. They don't exist anymore like they used to. Like for instance, the ruach hara of zugot. In those days, by the way, there was also another danger, which is if a person would drink like an even number of cups of wine, he could get also harmed from that as well. So 2 and 4 and 6 is no good, right? Do 3, 5, and 7. If you're going to do 7, you're going to be already DWI. They're going to catch you, the police, right? For sure. On the road, be careful. You're going to lose your license. Be careful about that. So what I'm saying is right that just like those zugot, they say the Chazal, they say the poskim, it doesn't apply today. Also the same thing when it comes to these things. They don't apply today. Why? Because there are certain types of ruach ra that don't exist anymore like they used to. So therefore, we're not really makpid so much. So therefore, it says Maran, he says over there that if a person left over garlic and onions overnight, he's allowed to use it. He doesn't have to throw it away. Why? Because we're not really concerned about this ruach ra anymore.
So only if it's left over open, right?
Even if it's closed, it's still sakana. Yes. Unless it's mixed with something, right? And by the way, you should know that don't try to be too much of a chassid with this. You know why? Because otherwise you're going to have to go to your closet, your kitchen pantry, and throw away your garlic and onions over there, the dried onions that you have. Why? Because those are left over overnight. So don't be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? If you're going to be machmir here, don't, and you're going to be mikkel over there in your kitchen pantry with the dried stuff. You're contradicting yourself. You know what I mean? How is it that you leave over the garlic and the onions in the pantry, right? For months like this in your pantry? Why aren't you concerned about ruach ra? Because we're not concerned about it today. That's the whole thing, Did you ever see somebody who ate garlic, died? I don't know. Maybe some people do die from garlic. I don't know. We're not something which is very common today. So therefore, we're not really so concerned about it. But some people are b'chatchila, they're makpid, So God bless you. B'chatchila, try to be makpid if you can. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. But since the Shulchan Aruch didn't bring it, the Rambam didn't bring it, we have no business, to be machmir, more machmir than the Shulchan Aruch, And even though some people are makpid about these things, today, we don't care so much about that. God bless them. What can I tell you? Every Jew according to his own thing. One more thing I was asked yesterday by one of our friends here, another question, which is regarding the Chadash and Yashan, regarding the Kemach, regarding the flour. So he asked me, if you go to a store, right, and it's under the Vad, there's a kashrut, but it says that they're not using Kemach Yashan. Are you allowed to eat in a place like that? So the answer is yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Right? What's the reason why? Because says Bet Yosef, it's a safek seka, it's a double doubt regarding the issue of Chadash. There's 2 doubts over there. So therefore the halacha is to be mekel, to be lenient. Unless you know for sure that it's Chadash. If you know for sure that it's Chadash, you have to be machmir, like it says in the Shulchan Aruch. But it says in the Bet Yosef, if it's a safek, you don't know where this came from. You don't know where it came from, Idaho or Kansas, right, or whatever, right? Who knows where it came from? Who knows when it was grown? Nobody knows any of these things. The truth is, one rabbi told me in Lakewood, he said that today, in America, it's very rare that they use Chadash for food. You know why that is? Because they store a lot of grain. There's a surplus over here of grain. Not like, what's going on in Africa, right? People are starving to death. Over here in America, nobody's starving to death. There's a surplus, so therefore they're using old grain, mostly. What's the reason why? Because it's more quality. When it gets dried out, it sits for a while, it's better quality. So therefore it's better for them to use old grain than to use new grain. So therefore there's no isur over here. In America, the isur of Chadash, and anywhere in the world, by the way. If it's a safek, says Maran Bet Yosef, and nobody argues with this. None of the Rishonim argue, none of the Achronim. There's nobody who argues with this. When it's a safek, double doubt, it's mutar. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen, amen.